Welcome back to another episode of Door Kickers 2 Task Force North, where we've been using realistic military tactics and CQB doctrine to play a game called Door Kickers 2 Task Force North. Door Kickers is a top-down, active pause CQB planning and tactics game. It's actually available over on my game store over at nexus.gg/controlledpairsgaming. If you guys like what you see in this video, you can support the channel in a couple ways. First, by picking up a copy of Door Kickers 2 if you haven't yet done so from my game store over at Nexus, and second, by simply subscribing to the channel. And there's big news coming out of the Door Kickers 2 world. The latest update just got dropped, and it adds some major features to the game. We're going to take a look at those today. The first is a new faction. This faction is a SWAT themed faction that's sort of a mix of law enforcement as well as military, occurring in the Middle East setting of the game. It adds things like ballistic shields and Molotov cocktails. It's very heavy on the AK platform as its primary weapon choice, and it introduces a whole new aspect to the game, a whole new sort of theme and scene that I look forward to exploring. There's also some new maps associated with this new SWAT themed mechanic. 3 of them in total, all embedded in the SWAT-themed chapter that's now included in the single-player campaign. There's also some new enemies, including ones that detonate explosives in new and exciting ways. With all of that in mind, let's take a look at the SWAT faction in Door Kickers 2. Here we go. Huge shout out to today's sponsor. Neomag are great dudes, and they've been a huge supporter of the channel for some time. They make a couple awesome products that make your everyday carry even better. One of them is called the Neomag. It's a magnetic clip that allows you to store an extra magazine of pistol ammunition in your pocket. If you carry a firearm to protect yourself, your family, your community, it's a great way to increase your capability. They've also got a Sentry strap. This thing allows you to stage your sling on your AR. It's also using a magnet and a piece of nylon that allows you to store that sling in a way that you can quickly deploy it if needed, if you got it in a bag in your truck, or if it's just in the gun safe. Awesome products, awesome people. Check the code in the description below to get your hands on some dope Neomag gear. Back to the video. So the latest chapter looks like it's called Give No Quarter. The first one, Foreign Influencers, University Assault, and Precious Cargo. These call for an unusually high number of assaulters, 8, 10, and then we have a more reasonably sized one at 4. Let's kick it off just right down the line with Foreign Influencers, bringing 8 assaulters to the fight. I'm eager to see what this new faction has in the way of equipment and things of that nature. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots down low. It's interesting too that we could either like arrive on this mat V, it looks like, with all 8 assaulters, or down low we could come in non-standard vehicles or infill on foot. That's super interesting. The mission here is the Forbidden Tree, a particularly fanatical sect of foreign jihadists, are making a move on the capital city proper, looking to establish presence and shake down businesses, eliminate all enemies in the area. Most of these guys are deadly. Oh, and they'll blow themselves up rather than be taken alive. That could get weird. So keep your distance and watch for SVS. The mission allows forward deployment for undercover units, but there's also an alternate deployment via the sewers if you rank up a unit for mobility. Okay. I don't think I'm going to push too much for mobility. I think, is this the sewer deployment? Yeah, so concealment 8 over here. If we just take a look in the area, we always try to start these episodes with, an abbreviated version of intelligence preparation of the battlefield, which is just a deliberate doctrinal way of taking a look at the battlefield and the enemy and the terrain and the light and the weather and the operational environment, and then taking a stab at how we think those factors might influence the way that our plan should break down. Part of that is determining how we think the enemy is going to fight. Here we know that the enemy is making a play for the city center, so we have an enemy that's occupied portions of this urban sprawl. And we also know that they're fanatical, so they have potentially SFES. We have True Believer. That's a new type of enemy. We've also got civilians in the area, so we know that there are good guys in the area. We are a local national SWAT and militia-style force with weapons and training that you'd expect to have on that sort of element. Let's take a look through the rest of the southern compound. So Insurgent, this is like an OP, it looks like, sort of in a battle position, able to look out this way. They don't have much cover and concealment. They're looking at all glass, but they have great observation and fields of fire. If they take contact, they could take a little bit of cover behind these benches. I would almost expect them to kind of fall back and fight from cover if they could. These are glass walls as well, so they really don't have a ton of cover. They should be relatively easy to take out, but they are going to be able to provide early warning to the rest of their force as soon as they are, compromised and in contact. The other concern, right, is these guys are going to start detonating themselves. That's going to put us at risk, so we need to maintain standoff, but they're also going to put the local populace at risk, meaning, the civilians that are located in proximity. means we also need to be careful with how we employ high explosive munitions, our hand grenades and our grenade launchers and our shoulder fired munitions, because we don't want to kill civilians. We also don't want to cause sympathetic or secondary detonations of SVES that are on these quote unquote true believers. So extremely high risk. It's hard to imagine any operation of this sort going off without some sort of collateral damage. Hopefully that's structures and not civilians, although that may be out of our hands just based off the nature of the enemy that we're fighting. If we look in the street here, we see a technical vehicle with, Dishka or equivalent heavy machine gun in the back of it. We got to mark it up top. We should definitely expect civilians to be in there. And then I would kind of also expect the enemy to have occupied, essentially this entire area. If we're thinking that like a low visibility or non-standard infiltration over here is appropriate or down here. The only reason you would need to do some sort of low visibility insertion is if the enemy's already kind of occupied the area. So I'm assuming we've got enemy in each of these structures very likely. Just based off the overt signature, I'm going to prioritize clearance of this area, as my primary target. In order to accomplish that, I do think I'm going to do a mass deployment up here so I have consolidated combat power. I think I'm going to occupy a battle position and cover behind this truck. That'll give me good observation and fields of fire along this axis and able to knock out this target and also isolate this structure and this structure and this structure from one another. So as soon as I have this established and I've got guns facing this direction, it's going to be very difficult for people in this area to squirt across the street and vice versa, reinforce one another. The same is true north to south over here. Once I have this battle position established, essentially it's an isolation or a containment element or a support by fire element. It's providing those functions to my force. I'm then going to move with my own assault element and conduct a deliberate clearance of this structure, doing my best to maintain as much standoff as possible. There is some risk associated with that. We got a metal gate here that we're going to have to get through somehow, and then the risk, of course, is if there's an SVES in here and I'm breaching this gate, then I'm at a tremendous amount of risk based off my proximity to that SVES. If he detonates, I'm already close to him. So that's a huge, huge issue. So what I think I would like to do is like get an explosive charge on this, get some standoff, blow the charge, throw a bunch of bangs in there, fight from the threshold, and knock it out. Sure enough, we've got confirmation that this place has already been occupied by the enemy because I'm seeing a pistol right there. So once I perform my deliberate clearance of this structure, I'll establish yet another support by fire like this, and then I'll work to smoke this street up if I have to, cross into this structure, perform a deliberate clearance of it. If we look a little bit closer, I'm not seeing any other weapons laying around, but I certainly expect, because I think this enemy element is providing early warning, that that there's definitely other enemy in the area. This looks like a civilian bongo truck. This has been open, so perhaps enemy, maybe this is enemy, and they came in here and they breached and they're already internal to these structures down here. I do have alternate access if I don't want to come through the primary breach, and I don't. I could come down this alleyway. I'm especially canalized in this alleyway, but I still could potentially at least gain alternate access into the structure if I do that. Once I'm clear and secure over here, I'll launch across the street and perform my final clearance over here, maintain isolation on this compound from this battle position for the duration. Then we also got to kind of consider enemy QRF. We're fighting at an intersection in a city that is being occupied by an enemy force. So at some point in time, if they've got good early warning, I'd expect to see a counterattack down one of these streets, potentially these high-speed avenue of approach. So that's kind of the plan going in. I'm going to take a look at my force, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Okay.
All right, guys, here we go. The first time in a long time that I have not had enough stars in door kickers to purchase what I want, which is good because that means the game is getting back into a really challenging phase of its development. Here's what I got so far. I have one guy out here by himself. His name's Recan. He's got an FAL, and really I intend to use him as part of my battle position, so I'm going to come pie off this corner, try to get cover behind this car. He'll kind of hold this angle by himself. The rest of that isolation elements up here with Samir, Sheik, and Gilad. I've got 2 FALs and 1 RPK. We're going to try to scoot them into position here. Then my assault element, interestingly, has Nisip, who is the leader of the entire element. He's got an AKM with a GL as well as a Glock 17. He's got level 3 front, back, and side plates, frag, and a smoke, and that's all he is able to have as the leader of the force. Assault element has mostly M4s. I've got Kara, Akeem, and Firuz. I've also got Hafiz here. I did choose to bring out a shield, not because I'm a huge fan of shields necessarily, but I do want to see that shield in action since it's a new feature and I'm interested in it. And then one sapper right here in Kara. And Kara has the same M4. In each M4 is running an M68 CCO, and they've also got Glock 17s. He's running the Sappers combo vest, and he's just loaded for bear with explosives. So 2 door charges and then 3 multi-purpose, GP demolition charges that look like C4. And these door charges, they do look different now. It looks like a water impulse style build, but if you read about them, they're intended to actually defeat a door in a significant way. Massive blast, a lot of overpressure, kills stuff on the other side of it. Pretty cool there, and it also could potentially damage friendly, so we'll have to keep that in mind, as opposed to how we've been kind of pretty, judicious with the way that we've used explosives in the past. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm eager to see how this one goes. Haven't played door kickers in a little while, so I'm expecting that this is going to be a pretty challenging run through. As always, we try to do this in our first time every time. But right off the bat, I'm seeing that we see a true believer, that we already are in his line of sight. So that is potentially concerning. First things first, I'm going to pull these guys back a little bit, maintain security. I'm going to push Rakan here up into kind of a little pie. Hopefully he is not compromised. I'm going to tell everyone they don't need to be quiet. Once we're compromised, I do want to freaking go loud and go loud fast. I'm looking to see if I have any smoke available to me. I do not recall if I brought any. I do have one. I'm going to put that one smoke, I think, right here to allow me to get cover long. Once that smoke goes out, I'm going to use my shield to plate this threshold, move my support by fire isolation element into position, then commence my assault. Let's see how we do. Go. We are compromised. I already heard that audible. We're here. Smoke is out. We got one runner on the way. He's going to get engaged immediately. He was not engaged immediately. I am still going to go ahead and plate this corner. Pull long security here. Move my assault element into position. I'm going to cover them with a grenade into this dead space to hit that known threat. Everyone else is going to go ahead and start pushing. Where are these guys at? There's one FAL. My RPK. I think that RPK I'm actually going to push to right here. Then immediately be prepared for some suppressive fire. These guys are going to move at a run. At my final FAL. We'll move here. Another thing about this these new factions, they don't have a ton of protection. I don't think I have anyone in a helmet. We are going to take casualties on this run, but I'm excited. I think it is going to be a good one. Let's get this frag out ASAP. Jesus Christ. Absolutely. All right. Oh my God. Oh my, all right, freaking, all right, okay, it's going to be one of those runs that's exceptionally violent. So we lost our shield guy immediately. We got hard compromise early, and that triggered a massive enemy response, which we should have been prepared for. We're going to continue to fight it because that is the mission. We don't have a ton of cover. Oh, Jesus. Look at this. No one's winning the draw. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! All right, next iteration, we are going to crank the violence up to just levels that we have not yet seen in this game. Acknowledge. I acknowledge that things have changed. Things have definitely changed. Oh, why would you over-penetrate that? Holy shit. This is no joke, dude. Not having armor and having level 1 dudes across the board. Look at this, dude. That's a squirter. Holy shit. Please don't die. What do you have? Alright. An M4. Oh my God. Can we do this with 3 dudes or 4 dudes? I don't even know if it's possible. I still want to prioritize this before launching to this. I don't know if I have the people. I think I'm going to have to basically do a one-man battle position at this point. Yeah, I am. Look at it. Like, these militia guys have 0, and I mean, like, 0 protection. Are you able to... I want you to stop right there. Alright, so that's going to be his freaking spot. That is going to be your spot. This is my assault element now. 1 injured dude with an M4 and our fearless leader standing on the bodies of his dead friends. Here we go, boys. Alright, we're going to push along with Nasip. Jesus Christ, we're getting hit by this window now. 1-man CQB, not my favorite thing to do. I don't want to waste my only frag, so we're going to pie this, which is stupid. It didn't get us killed, which is a freaking miracle. That's why we have security. The first thing this entire match that's gone correctly is this guy freaking interdicting with fires that target. Civilian. Civilian. Alright, we have visually cleared this space. That's a win. I am going to be able to establish some baseline security by being able to observe through the windows and take shots long, so we'll do that now. 1 shooter. Hold what you got there. You've got better cover. See, it's not counting that as cover. I would rather make him peek me. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's... yeah, I've got no freaking... Yeah. Whatever, bro. Let's solve that freaking problem with a shoulder fired, which will get me killed because it'll take a long time to deploy, but it'll make me feel way better. Odds of me getting that past the car, low. Please win that peak. Oh, my dude. He did it. Oh, Jesus, there's a freaking machine gun over there. Roger that. Let's just hold that right there for me. Fucking stupid. God damn. Guys, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. What I would give for an athlete who could kill this dude with a Molotov out of spite. Never peek the same area twice. There's a shooter. Oh, they're repositioning on me. That's new. That FAL is dope! Let's go. Is there any chance that we survive this with 2 dudes, having only cleared 1 of the 3 compounds? Survey says no. I don't want to get in a fight with that machine gun again. I'm going to bound these dudes forward. Oh, there's that machine gun. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at this. His line of sight's blocked by that door. That's why we just died. Oh my god. Alright, we'll do it this way. This is wild, dude. This is so difficult with no protection, level 1 dudes, gimped equipment, extraordinarily violent enemy. But from a game perspective, I feel like this is what you want. Like, you want it to be hard. And this is the first time that Door Kickers has felt legitimately hard in a very long time. So I'm okay with that. I am. We'll pie this and go directly into cover. We've now cleared most of that. Luckily, the guy that I have left has a shit ton of things that can explode. So we're going to use that to our advantage. There's no reason to dally in the street when we don't have cover, so we're running. We'll walk from this point forward. Before I apply this charge, actually, I think I'm going to go long and work this pie. Oh my god! We actually freaking finished the level, dude. 1 freaking star. Alright, we got a lot to learn about the militia faction, but I am absolutely satisfied and excited about this Door Kickers update. If you guys did enjoy it, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. There's a ton of ways to get in touch with me. You can, of course, become a member like the legends on the screen right now. We've also got a podcast that's live, just linked down in the description below. We've also got a real world channel over at Controlled Pairs here on YouTube. That channel's popping off big time right now. Got a lot of shooting content, real world content. Expect some airsoft stuff, things like that on the way. Make sure you do check out the latest airsoft videos. Those are pretty dope. I'm eager for y'all's feedback on them. I'm Controlled Pairs. This is Door Kickers 2. I'll see you guys in the next one.